much better. Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Tembela Mpata and this is Uncomfortable Journey with Tembela. I would like to welcome the new subscribers to our channel. As you have seen, I don't know if you have seen yet or read our description, but our channel is discussing uncomfortable things that happen throughout our lives, and also to just encourage each other to grow, not to be destroyed by those things, but also to just find them as a weapon or a way for us to grow, but not destroyed by those things that happen in me. Okay, today we are just going to be talking about something that I really wanted to share for a longest time. I wanted to share this thing for a longest time. It's hot. It's really hot. I wanted to share this thing for a longest time, but I didn't know whether this platform was, or I still don't know whether this platform is a good platform for me to share this. But I thought, okay, since I have shared something that was big, that okay, the woman mom, maybe I can share this one as well, and with hope that you guys are going to receive it and you are going to learn something from it as well. So in the beginning of last year, I changed jobs. Not beginning of last year, in the beginning or towards the end of 2022, I changed jobs, and then I moved to a new area, I would say, but still in Western Cape. So with hope that okay, I want to grow, I want to, like, I've been with my last company, this was me talking to myself. I've been with my last company for almost 6 to 7 years, so now I want like a bit of change. So I took a decision to move, and also this move was not really only about the change of a job, but also it was about moving from where I've been since everything has happened, and I thought, okay, the shift was necessary for me to start over, right? To start from a place where there's no one that knows me, there's no one that knows my story, there's no one that is going to look at me with those eyes, oh shame, So I wanted something different. I wanted somewhere where I can just be me and be responsible, and I wanted to start afresh. So I moved, I moved to this place. So when I got here, I got the job. So I got the job and then I started with my work, but things went so well that the offer that I got on that job, it was so much that it was allowing me to buy property, it was allowing me to buy a place where I was going to live. This is now 2022, September 2022. It was allowing me to live, to buy a place that I like, but I was not looking for something expensive, but I was looking for something that I was not going to rent. I didn't want to rent, I wanted to buy and own a property, right? So there are things that you guys don't know about me, although you think you know about me. I am a person that really like to make plans and try to achieve those plans as well as I can, But so the first thing I did in 2021, I bought a property in 2021, and then in 2022 I moved jobs. And then in 2023, because now I got this new job or position that I got in 2022, I thought, okay, I don't want to like rent because I know that I'm a property owner. I want to take the money that I'm getting from the other property and then pay this bond, which is now the new property where I'm moving to. So I did that. I hope you guys are following my story. I did that. So I bought a property where I was moving to. Then recession came middle of 2023 last year. So when recession came, I was really struggling to pay both bonds, the one that I bought in 2021 and the one that I bought in 2023, beginning of 2023. So I had to reshuffle some things in my finances. Remember, a lot of things happened last year that our repo rate was no longer 7%. I think it was coming from 7% to now 11%. And both my bonds are in flexi bonds. They are flexi bonds. Ne? And I took some money from the bank to buy the second property, because now the first property I didn't need to have lawyers to transfer the bond or to register my bond. So everything was done by the developers. And then on the second property, my bond was not done like that. It was bought from someone, which now the property or the deed had, the title deed had to be transferred from the owner, the previous owner, to my name. So that needed the lawyers, the transfer bond lawyers, and also the title deed, all the paperwork that was going to be completed by the lawyers. There were two lawyers, the lawyers from the bank and also the lawyers that do the transfers. Okay, so so last year I was excited. I did this immediately after I just bought the bond. Things went up, so I had to reshuffle a lot of things, guys. Last year I was really, when I'm talking about money issues, that last year, the things that you wanted to achieve but you did not achieve, I'm talking from experience. Last year I had to squash myself to make sure that I was paying both bonds. Remember, now the rent that I'm getting from the first bond is no longer covering the second bond, because it's no longer covering the bond for the second property because of the repo rate that increased. Like if now we'll make an example, the rent I'm getting, for example, it was, for example, 6.6, which was going to cover the second bond. Because what I did as well, I made sure that the first bond was more expensive. I didn't want to buy the more expensive bond the second time. So the first bond was more expensive than the second bond. I made sure of that. I was deliberate in making sure that the second bond is less than the first bond, because I wanted the first bond to pay for the second bond, even paying the levies, paying the rates and taxes for the second bond. I wanted the rent to cover everything. Unfortunately, that was not the case, because when the first bond increased, the second bond increased as well, but the rent that I was getting from the tenants did not increase. So now I was struggling last year with that. I had to pay extra 3,000 rand from my budget, which I did not budget when I was buying the second bond, because I thought the first bond would cover the second bond. So what I had to do, I did not buy clothes last year. I had to cut my budget to a very limited amount. Like, I was living on an amount of 300 rand for groceries in a month. At least I am staying alone, so I didn't have to convince someone to say now must not take now must take. I was living alone, and I was able to make sure that okay, that 300 rand is going to cover this and that is for the month. So I had to cut I did not buy clothes last year. I changed a hairstyle last year. I had to change a hairstyle last year because I could not do braids as I used to last year. Those are the strategies that I had to take. I had to change grocery amount that I was buying. I had to change the hairstyle. I had to stop doing nails because I started to like of feminine, because I saw imali corner now that I have a new position. But that excitement iphele very fast, because last year immediately after Ditenge property, that excitement was gone because repo rate now increased immediately. So I was unable to even enjoy position and enjoy umsebenzi wami omcha with a new salary and yazintobana is extra. It was no longer extra because it was taken by bond as 2. So I had to cut a lot of things to make sure that I was able to pay my bonds monthly and still pay my levies on top of that. So those are the strategies that I took last year, and I'm still taking those strategies until this year, because this year there are new challenges. Even this year there are new challenges, but this year I see a light. There is a light, but I'm just reflecting on my last year and the things that made last year one to be a bit difficult. So the bond, me buying a bond was the first thing. So me buying a property was the first thing that crushed my 2023. And there are things that I have experienced that I think it's important for me to share, to come and share with you guys here in this channel. I might not share it the way I have it in mind, but I hope you guys are going to take something out of it. It's not a bad thing to buy property. Let me say that. It's not a bad thing to buy property. It is actually a good thing. But one thing that you need to do before you buy a property, now these are the lessons I've learned, is that you do not have to rush to buy a property. You have to join what is happening in the market. Now, I'm not a financial advisor, but I think these are the things that I've learned. I bought a property in 2021, and then I bought another one in 2023. So I didn't give myself enough space to save for even the lawyer fees. I didn't give myself a space at least to even have 20,000 in my bank, so that I can have a deposit, so that I can pay the lawyers out of savings. I had to pin and real bank for me to get extra money to pay lawyers. So you do not have utenge a property while you have no savings in your bank. You still have to uhlale phansi and look at do I have enough money for me to pay a property or an apartment that I want? Because you having a prayer pressure, I'm not saying I was having a prayer pressure. I bought properties that I bought because I had money to buy them and I was affording them. That's why the bank took me and gave me bonds, because I was able to buy them at the time, and my credit score was doing great. That's why I have 2 properties even today. So you have to save first, have some money in your bank before you go and look for a property. And secondly, look at the market. What is happening with our rates? How are things going in the property industry? I don't know much about the things that you have to research before you buy a house, but I know for sure you have to open deposit money in your bank account. Because you do not want to ufune a bond at the same time uphinde futhi ufune imali yobhadala lawyers from the same bank, because that is going to be doubling up into ityala lakho, right? So that is the first thing that I've learned. And just to add on lento yobana ungathengi fast. Don't buy in a rush. Like, give yourself time. Like, take this year and then save 10,000. Ufana nokuzothenga imoto, I would say make sure that you have a deposit before you buy a car. Don't buy it without having something ezakunceda into yokubana uthini iyehlise inandika yakho, i-debit amount yakho oyitsalelwayo monthly. So I've drafted some things that I have learned. The first thing is that despite the struggles, there have been valuable lessons and strategies learned along the way. As I've mentioned, one of the lessons that I have learned is to save for deposit, which is the same thing that I just mentioned. And then another one is to create contingency funds. Like, you have to have emergency funds, so that you do not have to take from the bank all the time imali for you to supplement something else. And then seek professional advice. Nansi into that I did not do, guys. Ndobana seek professional advice. Ndobana, okay, is it the right time for me to buy? Is it the right time for me to buy a second property? Now, I did not do that. I just went all in, and then the banks, once is going to qualify as basically suthenga, it's not the right time for you to. So i-banks zona zikuxelela into yobana no, yima ngoku, it's not the time for you to buy. No, i-banks zona zizokuxelela into yobana you qualify, my sister, come and buy. Ne? So izoba nguwe ne-financial advisor yakho eba-go through statements zakho and how much you make a month for you into yobana uthini uthenge. So seek that while it's still early and consult someone before buying. And also practice patience and persistence. Don't rush, as I said before, into yobana don't rush. Look at the market. Iza kunceda ke into yobana ube ne-professional advisor for you into yobana akujongise into yobana is it the right time, do you have enough? Because remember guys, we still have to live ubom, we still have to into yobana sitye, we still have to buy clothes, we still have to do our hair, we still have to do our nails. We don't have to know about siphile kwi struggle. So now that you know that these are the things that ezidingekayo emntwini into yobana be happy, zenze mntasekhaya, because akumandanga. Really, it's not nice for you to cut down indlela yakho yokuphila okanye lifestyle yakho okanye downgrade because now you have to bana wenza lo hlobo, kodwa you could have taken inandika steps as necessary for you not to get there. Ne? So tina bantu that have rushed to do izinto, we are here to tell you into yokubana you're going to have it. You're going to have it. Noma awunayongo this year, you're going to have it next year. So kuthi nokubana because uya waya nje wena wayothenga, why mna ndingazoyi, ndiyaxela ngoyinto yobana if benobuyela back to 2022 wam ngengakhange ndenze what I've done, ngensuke ndathini ndarent, knowing that into yobana i-repo rate izokwenyuka. I didn't even know about that. Ndethuka mna se i-repo rate isenyuka, yabo. So doing more research and knowing what is going to happen in our industry will also help you into yokubana uthini ube prepared for what is coming. But if you are not prepared and then usuke wenza like I did, then awuzubakho prepared, and also you will not be prepared, and also you find yourself where I have found myself to be last year ebomini bam, yabo. So I'm here to advise you that you do not rush, you seek advice sorry, and you save as much as you can if it's cool. And I had to know when I shift from braids and hence dreads, which is not a bad thing. Dreads is cool symbolism, but I had to make a decision, which is sometimes is not a nice thing to make a decision as in jalo, especially eza style isifikayo ngoku I could have eza style isifikayo kukwezitayile ngoku ezininzi ezifikayo enhloko, but mna ndihleli kwi-budget. It is like a discipline. It needs like a lot of discipline. Sometimes discipline yokuba awunayo urhalela this thing, but iyakutraina for into yokubana ube ne-discipline. So mna ndithi into yokubana practice discipline before you get into something. Practice it before you get into it, because mna I have to now to practice discipline ngoku sengaphakathi, and I cannot sell. Dear, I cannot sell. I have struggled enough. I think I have struggled enough, and I see myself getting out of it. I see myself maintaining it because I'm still alive and I'm still doing it. So I cannot sell. If I can still pay izinto zami zonke at once, and I'm not depressed, I'm happy. I have made the decision to cut some things down because those are the things that I wanted to cut. Although style, but still the style is not more important than having properties. Those are my investment, so I cannot just sell them out. I understand why I did those things, and I know I could have done them get different time, but I've done it already, and now I must own them and own everything that I'm taking for me to make it work. I am owning it. I took that decision, and I'm not going to sell my properties. I love the fact that I have this investment. It's like an achievement. It's a big achievement for me at my age to have what I have. Although now when I sit down and look at my decisions, I'm saying I could have done it better, but I know that I took that decision from the good heart, from a good place in my heart. I didn't know what was going to happen, and I didn't have a contingency plan in place. Yeah, so that's why I am now at where I'm at, but I am happy. I am happy that I have the investments that I have. So I'm owning it, and I'm saying before you jump into something as big as owning a property, you have to sit down and look at your finances. Be deliberate, be intentional. I said to you guys when we were opening this year that this year we are being intentional about everything that we're doing, because we do not want to see ourselves. When I was saying that, I was mentioning 2023 one. We do not want to see ourselves being in a hole that we could have avoided. So I'm saying to you, take all the measures that you can take so that you do not find yourself having to stay with this time mhlambi ngena dreads ngoko mhlambi ngengifakele ndifakele ngibani, but still but still ndandazincumisa lento, but still I have the things that I have. So yeah, that's life guys. Okay, I have a verse here that I want to leave you guys with. The verse says, commit to the Lord whatever you do, and he will establish your plans. This verse is found in Proverbs 16 verses 3. I did not just jump into buying properties. I sat with God. I sat with God before I took the decision for me to buy the second property. I sat with God before I took a decision to buy even the first property, and he gave me people that were able to help me. At work where I was working, everyone was like, when do you want to buy it? How can we help? Do you have a deposit? You see, so he gave me people that were able to help me to get where I am today. And God, if you commit your plans, if you commit everything that you want to do, whatever, you commit to the Lord. Commit to the Lord whatever you do. Commit it, meaning nikezele yonke kuThixo into yenzayo. I did that. I sat down with God and I looked at my finances. Yes, I did not ask for advisor, someone to advise me, but I did it with God, and I still believe that he is the one that is sustaining me today, even though there are things that in this khalelayo, but the one that I have, the thing that I have is the biggest thing that he has ever given me. Even if I'm struggling, I still have food, I still look beautiful, I still breathe, I still have love. So he has given me everything, and if now he will establish your plans. He has established mine. I am content where he has carried me to. So now whatever you are planning to do, Dasekaya, do that. I am committed to God. He will establish your plans. Proverbs 16 verses 3. Trust in the divine guidance. I hope you guys are going to like this video. You're going to share it, and also you're going to learn something. Also comment in my videos guys. I want to hear what your journeys are. What have you encountered in your own life, so that we can be a community that shares these ideas and also find hope and courage from each other. For now, bye bye.
Has no place in your success equation. Anytime I feel it creeping up the back of my neck, I remind myself of that old saying: fear is just false evidence of things appearing real. What's the worst that can happen if you take a risk and it doesn't work out? So you fail. But guess what? Failure always brings you a gift, and that gift is called experience. Now you know how to do it better. Now you know how to do it differently. Now you know how to do it successfully. Fear has no place in your success equation. Anytime I feel it creeping up the back of my neck, I remind myself of that old saying: fear is just false evidence of things appearing real. What's the worst that can happen if you take a risk and it doesn't work out? So you fail. But guess what? Failure always brings you a gift, and that gift is called experience. Now you know how to do it better. Now you know how to do it differently. Now you know how to do it successfully.